guys, it's Shell with Tangi Library Baby and me. Welcome back to the Hammond Branch. We are still celebrating Black History Month, and so as you can see, Lauren has a great display of some books in the children's books area, but there are books for all ages that will help you learn about this amazing month and why it is so important for us to know the history of African Americans and Black people in our nation. Because they're a big part of our history, but they also have kind of their own culture and history. Next month we do Women's History Month because very similarly, women kind of have their own history and struggle that's very different from just what everybody else was going through. So we want to make sure we focus on those things for you guys. But enough of that for right now. Let's get started with our February opening song, which is Do Your Ears Hang Low? And I'm going to help you with this again this time, and then next time we're going to jump right into it. We'll do it slow one time and fast one time next time. Okay, you ready? So it goes, do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot where you pull it really tight? Can you tie them in a bow where you just make your loops? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Stand up really straight and salute and put your hand on your hip. Do your ears hang low? Okay, are you ready? All right, here we go. Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your ears hang low? Okay, you think you could do it a little faster? What do you think? Can you grab your ears? Where are they? There's two of them, pinch them. And this is actually the sign language for ears. So you just grab them to show somebody what you're talking about. Okay. Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your ears hang low? Very good. Good job, guys. So because it is Black History Month, we actually have 3 colors that we're working on learning, and these are the 3 colors of the African flag. And that was, the best way for me to try and be a little bit more correct in what I'm doing, because how many people know that Black people they're not really black. They're dark brown to light brown. They have different colors, and just like white people do, just like Hispanic people do, we come in different shades. And that's good to have that difference. And so I didn't want to just have black be our color because that seemed to be inappropriate. And so we're doing the 3 colors of the African flag, which are black, green, and red. Okay, so let's learn the sign language for those. So red is kind of my favorite because it's just taking your little hooker finger, like when we did Pirate Week, and touching it to your lip and just red, just like that. Now, you don't have to touch your lips during COVID, especially because we don't want you really touching your mouth. But if you're at home and you can wash your hands, and you can also just do this. And that's the same kind of thing. If you've ever done that, you can do red. You just red. Okay? And then green, you say, oh, it's about this big. You take your thumb, which is the big fat one, and then you take your pointer finger, which is not your tall one, but it's your one right next to your thumb that can make an L, okay? And you say, oh, it's this big, and then you just wiggle it back and forth. And that's green, okay? So you take your little pincher and you do green. Now sometimes, depending on the person, they also will take those same 2 fingers and just go green. Just kind of fling it out at you instead of wiggling. But either way is fine. And then black, you use the same fingers, it's about this big, but you come and you draw it across your forehead like you're giving yourself a captain's hat, like you're turning your hat to the side. So it's black, like that, okay? Like you're giving a weird kind of salute. Just drag it right across your forehead, black. Okay, And then our shape this month, I did it in all 3 colors. I don't know if you can see the black one very well because our felt board is black, but our shape this month is heart because it's Valentine's month. And so we love Black History Month, we love Valentine's Day, and I love reading stories to you. So do you know the sign language for love? It's kind of like bear, but instead of scratching your shoulders, you just wrap like you're giving yourself a big hug and you say, love, just like that, okay? And so that's what our hearts are. And a heart just is, you take your 2 fingers, your 2 pointer fingers, here's your thumbs, 2 pointer fingers, and you make a heart shape. And that's how you say heart in sign language. So that's really easy, okay? Let's do our felt board. Okay. Now, because the story we are reading today is The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats, which is a really important book because it was one of the first books that was ever written that had a Black child as the main character. Okay, so most books prior to this had only white children in them. And so to see that diversity is really important, to know that if you're a different color, you can still be in a book, right? That's important. We all learn by the toys we play with or the books we read, how normal we are or where we fit in the world. And so having the ability to have different diverse cultures in books lets everybody feel like they're part of our stories. And we definitely want that. So because we're going back a little bit to cold and snow, our felt board is 5 little snowflakes. So I'm gonna put one up. One little snowflake with nothing to do. Along came another, and then there were how many? 2. 1, 2. 2 little snowflakes playing in a tree. Along came another, and then there were 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 little snowflakes looking for some more. Along came another, and then there were 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little snowflakes finally did arrive. Along came another, and then there were 5. 5 little snowflakes having so much fun. And then out came the sun, and they were done because they melted away. Snow doesn't last very long here in Louisiana. In other parts of the country, it can stay piles and piles of snow for days and weeks. But here, our sun comes out and just melts it right away if we're even lucky enough to get a little tiny bit of it. So that is pretty accurate to what we do in Louisiana. All right, let's read our story. Before we do though, I do want to tell you about our craft. Our craft uses 3 different ways to paint. You get to use a Q-tip, a cotton ball, and some bubble wrap. So those are different things that you can feel in your hand and different ways that you hold it. And these will be available at all 6 of the Tangi Library branches. So you can go anywhere in the system, and as long as they still have some, you can pick one up. If you're worried you won't get one, Hammond always has a little bit more than other branches just because I make extra in case somebody needs some. But you can always ask them to call me and ask Shell. Say, can you see if Shell has any extras that she can send if they're all out, or call and request it today on Monday because they will just be putting these out today, okay? And your branch will probably hold it for you. But so it's a super fun little craft, lots of sensory, lots of painting, lots of different ways of using your fingers, and I hope that you will pick yours up. Okay, here we go. Ezra Jack Keats, The Snowy Day, and we are reading with permission of, let me turn my page, Puffin Books. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make the path for walking. So they had come through with like big bulldozers, and they pushed the snow up onto the sides of the street so that people have room to walk or drive. Crunch, 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 his feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out like this. He walked with his toes pointing in like that. So he's having fun making footprints. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And if he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track, what do you think he found? Because look, he goes from his 2 feet to, here's a third one. So what do you think he found? It was a stick. A stick that was just right for smacking the snow-covered trees. What do you think happens if he smacks the snow-covered trees when he's standing right below it? Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. And then he starts walking again. He doesn't even look grumpy about it. He looks like having that snow fall on his head was kind of fun, huh? He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and he made angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber, and he climbed up a great, big, tall, heaping mountain of snow, and then he slid all the way down. My boys and I in Kansas, when we lived there, it would snow, and there was a big hill, we'd go sledding. It was really fun. He picked up a handful of snow and another, and still another, and still another, and he packed it round and firm, and he put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. And then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while he took off his wet socks. And he thought and thought and thought about them. So he's taking his bath, just like our turtle's going to in just a minute. Before he got into bed and he looked in his pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there anymore, and he felt very sad. What do you think happened to his snowball? Because he took it in his warm house, huh? Probably did what? Melted. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all of the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone, and snow was still everywhere. New snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. Look how tall that snow is compared to them. And that's the end. And they had a fun adventure another day. What do you think they did the next day? Do you think they built another snowman together? Or maybe they had a littler kid's snowball fight? I always wanted to try and make a snow fort where you dig out a section and make yourself like a little igloo, and that's kind of fun, but I didn't get a chance. Okay, so we're gonna do our turtle song and say goodbye. Can you put your turtle out with its little head and cover it with its shell? My mommy had a turtle, she named him Tiny Tim. She put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water, he ate up all the soap, and now he's home, sick in bed with a bubble in his throat. Bubble, 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 bubble. And that's it, and that's all. I love you, I miss you. I hope you will come in and see me at the Hammond Branch anytime. I'm here Monday through Friday, most days until 3:30. Some days even later than that. So call and see if I'm here and come visit. But otherwise, Miss Lauren would be glad to help you find a book. We have lots of library aides who would at any of our branches. They would love to help you find what you're looking for. Have a great day. Bye. Mwah.